In 3, 2. Did you start? Okay. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Detroit Dart Talk. As always, we've got Tom here.
Connor McGaffey.
And Tim Wool.
Now it's your turn, Jang.
And me, I'm Jang. They said my name already.
There we go. There we
You
go.
did ruin it.
Best intro. 10 out of 10. So guys, how are you all doing today?
I'm doing well. It is, what, Wednesday?
Well, yes.
Per usual?
It's only Wednesday. It's been a stressful week at work. I'm happy to be here talking about Nerf.
I feel that. So yeah, we are
halfway there. Over halfway there.
No, my work week's just starting. So what are we talking about today? We want to start off with competitive talk, guys.
Or how about events we just had?
Let's
go with
let's
events.
talk about events.
So Tim, you wanna lead us into that?
Yeah. So we this past Saturday we had our Club Z13, which is our HVZ event that we do every month. Connor's been throwing up videos on his YouTube channel with raw footage, and you had a little bit in your weekly video as well. Best Z13 I think we've ever had.
Oh, it was so much fun.
100% agree.
I was very worried going into it because there was a huge response ahead of time of people that said, "Hey, I'm coming. Hey, I'm coming. You know, what are the rules on this? What are the rules on that?" And just comment after comment, I was like, "Oh my God, this is going to be huge." And I know I've touched on this in the past, but our games, the sweet spot is around like 25.
I think we hit that sweet spot.
We were way over that.
Well, I think the difference was opening up that doorway.
Yeah, that changed a lot.
It made the place feel big.
Yeah, we made some changes in response to like preemptive. There's a door between the two sides of the club that is usually closed. So normally when we're playing, we have a bottleneck where our play area is kind of shaped in a U. There's 2 arenas on one side, 2 arenas on the other, and then a hallway at the one end that kind of cuts between them. But there is a door halfway through the 2 arenas to the other side that is normally closed off, and we took out the screws in the panels and opened that up, and that really freed up gameplay quite a bit for the large numbers we had. We also made better use of specials this time, which the game kind of stagnates when there's a lot of people, or when people are using super high capacity blasters like Nemesis and Prometheus and
Mag bags.
So I really think that employing more specials helped quite a bit.
Oh yeah, like this was the first time I got tagged by a tank.
Yeah.
Like that never happens before.
And I just need to make sure that when I start seeing groups of humans hole up, like in the
who does that?
In the second mission, the humans got stagnated in one of the buildings trying to plant the package, and I was like, "All right, screw this! I send in a tank," and it just keeps gameplay flowing.
Wait, was that the one where I was running the Maverick?
Maybe.
I think so.
Anyways, but also the large numbers that we got were a lot of HVZ veterans. We had
Red Team there.
Red Team,
we had Bogue,
Anna
Tyler.
and Tyler and Bogue all drove up from Youngstown. Cody and a couple other guys from BG. Buff Daddy was there.
Can we just talk about what a fire hazard he is?
Did you see? So did any of you see when
it started like smoking?
I was right
I got
there.
video of it, but it was with the Ozma. I don't think you could tell of it, but it was pretty awesome how he played that off.
Jang, I don't know if you realize Buff Daddy has his own version of the Proton Pack that uses the old school Koosh balls.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's a wonderful masterpiece.
It legit. He walked in. I was like, "Oh, who are you gonna call?" Because it legit looks like the slime blaster from Ghostbusters 2. When he walked in, as immediately what I thought of.
That man is just delightful with the things he.
He's a fun guy. We love him here.
But
he's gonna burn this place down.
I think it was the rev trigger got stuck, and he smoked the motors in the thing. So
I thought it had something to do with the actual pack itself.
Maybe a motor.
He was talking
was
about it. I just don't
definitely burning.
He was talking about it in Alice's Discord. I just don't remember what.
He posted in the Detroit Dart Talk chat that new motors had just come in for it today, and he was going home early to work on it. But so all the experience we had there between Jesse and Red Team and Anna and Tyler and Bogue and Elijah. and then Cody and his buddies from BG and Buff Daddy.
There were a lot of new faces that we just haven't seen before.
Well, a lot of new faces, but
ones that already know HVZ.
Right, HVZ veterans, and I think that really helped the game flow too.
Red team was scary.
Well, they're efficient.
Yeah, no, they're very efficient, and that's terrifying.
But they were also like, it was fun with them too.
Yeah, no,
I remember at End War, I was like, these guys are serious.
Yeah, like I didn't want to go near them at End War because they were so serious. But they're
when they
nice
played
guys.
it here, I mean, they were awesome.
Yeah.
They were hilarious.
No, they're chill guys. I still feel bad for shooting one of them in the lip. He was a tank.
They'll get over it.
He was
that was Jesse.
He was a hardcore tank.
Oh, that's why. And then
I mean, like he was taking it, and
and that was the first match, and I forget exactly what happened. I was all right. I'm gonna break this right now, and I was like, hey Jesse, here's a vest. Go be a tank.
Yeah. So the video I'm posting today, I like follow him for a while. And it's like.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he? It just looked exhausting almost, but
it got to a point where I just started aiming for his shins. I'm just like, I don't want to hit him in the face again.
But the rounds lasted a little bit longer than they normally do, but it never felt like the gameplay was stagnating, which is what it usually happens.
Well, for one of the BFZ ones, it kind of felt that way, but that was also because I wasn't really participating in the mission.
Well, that's your own fault.
That was the one where I just started running laps.
Each game lasted about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think that was
a
perfect. It was a good. There's action throughout the whole thing. There's something going on at different parts of the building, and when it was over, it was like, whew.
Yeah.
That was like a workout. But
I actually broke a sweat this time, and that hasn't happened at any other Zone 3.
I'm okay with them lasting that long as the gameplay doesn't stagnate, and it really was a good pace. So, really happy. And if you guys follow Connor's channel, Detroit Dart Club, you'll see.
Which one is it?
Yeah, Dart Talk, Dart Club. Yeah, you'll see quite a bit of footage of the event, and best one so far.
Including, and someone asked me about this, the Nerf prayer that happens at the end.
Zombie prayer. Yeah,
that was cool. That was like End War.
Cool.
Is there a way we can find? Someone asked me what are the words to it, and I was like, I'm not about to.
There's a Reddit post. I'll link it to you
okay,
you can. Yeah, you put it out. There's also the zombies marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah! There's that song.
I feel like I remember that happened at End War.
They always do that on the way to Final Stand at End War. So, HVZ Z13. We had an amazing time this past Saturday. Jang, you had any events recently?
I have not made it to any events recently, unfortunately. Hoping to have our first test kind of practice day for 5v5 in our area this weekend. So fingers crossed that will go well. We can get back into it as we start our season next month. So that'll be
fantastic.
Nice to hopefully get back on the field. It's been since December, I think, was the last time I actually got to Nerf.
Oh, you got to be itching, man.
Far too long.
Yeah. What are you gonna run this season?
So far, I'm looking at running the FDL3, assuming it holds up the way I expect it to and the way it has in testing. I'll be switching over to short darts for everything competitive and trying to rock that for a little while. If it doesn't do what I expect of it, which we'll see, then I'll switch back to a Strife or something that's got a talent adapter or whatnot. But so far I've been pretty pleased with the 3 and how it's
an amazing machine, isn't it?
Well, I'm just glad there's a rev trigger now.
I feel like you might have had more than a little bit of influence there. I think you got specifically called out in that post in the announcement for the rev trigger version. I think you got called out.
Just glad it exists now. I'm happy to have it and happy that it does exist, because I don't think I'm the only person that likes a rev trigger. I know clearly there's plenty of people that like having a one trigger setup, but I like the control. That's just me.
Now, isn't the pusher trigger, isn't that on like a double gear system, so it feels like the Hailfire? I've heard.
Hailfire.
It is more similar to the Hailfire It's also similar to the NG1, which, granted, I don't think many people have used, so probably not the best reference, but it is a pretty smooth trigger. I don't notice as much jerking of the blaster that I do when I'm using a Strife or or not a Rapid Strike, because that's a shorter trigger pull, but a Strife or a Swordfish or a Dominator, anything like that. So
Gotcha.
That's definitely a plus. So
I've got the full auto tail end on the one I just finished, and I just love having the versatility and the quick swap buttons and whatnot. So I'll probably always stick with the full auto, but I'll probably print myself a half-length front end at some point.
Absolutely worth it. As we continue to progress, less and less I find myself wanting to use full-length darts, which is a bit awkward, as I've got, I don't know how many fresh impact darts sitting in the side of this room waiting to be used that I don't know when or if they will ever be used. So that's, I guess first world problems there.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I've got, I don't know, probably 1,000 AccuFakes sitting in my bins, and I don't want to use anything other than the Adventure Force waffles these days.
Well, guess who uses AccuFakes? Give them here.
Right.
I only have like 2,000 left. They were a good price. I'm not gonna.
It's only a couple of games with a dart.
Oh yeah. I mean, with the mag bag, like that's 200 darts a game.
Yeah.
So
I could see you spewing that many.
Oh yeah. So on the topic of like the FDL, I guess not the FDL, but just like blasters we're using at End War.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not going to be using that Captain America modulus.
Oh, lame.
What?
Lame.
You guys both knew this. We talked about this before.
Yeah, I'm
breaking
still
the fourth
calling it
wall.
lame.
It is lame.
Did you make a promise that you were going to use
He
it?
did.
I did, but guys, here's my reasoning. So we're flying in, and if I want to bring so the original plan was Captain America modulus knockoff thing, my pump action retaliator for competitive play, and my White Knight Strife for actual HVZ. That's 3 blasters that aren't particularly small, and with a very finite amount of room to bring them in.
Yeah.
So my mentality is the Foxfire can pretty much, because I'm getting a module that'll let me do competitive play and HVZ. So that's 2 modules for 1 blaster. It's going to be much easier to pack just with that in mind, because then I also have to bring darts and tactical gear and stuff like that.
I hear you there.
Yeah.
I'm currently debating with myself if I'm going to just pack the FDL in with my gear, or if I pay for the second checked bag and put my Caliburn and my FDL in the new Pelican case I got.
It's a tough call. It is not cheap to bring a second bag. I brought 2 bags last year and had to pay the extra fees for overweight bag as well on the second bag. So it got pricey real quick last year.
Okay, that's why I'm switching this out, because I want to keep it under, because it's like 50 pounds, right?
Well,
right.
I guess I need to look into what overweight constitutes, because if I try to pack everything into my regular checked bag, I might go over on that weight. But if I did 2 smaller bags, I'll have to look.
Wait, for our flight, we get an overhead and a checked bag, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we get a checked bag?
Do we? I don't remember.
I don't think we do.
Do we?
I'll have to double check. Anyways,
we'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Regardless, for competitive, I will say bring a second blast. Just have a backup.
Yeah,
it's always worth it.
Well, worst comes to worst,
you will be devastated.
Aren't socks still legal in competitive?
No,
no,
it's not banned.
Can't sock ninja. I'm bringing my Maverick.
Chang, my biggest concern is my play style in competitive is completely different from how I play PvP or HVZ. Like, I love to spam darts in those game types, and that obviously just isn't a good option for competitive when you're limited to 50 darts for 3 rounds. So that's why I really, rely on the Caliburn for our competitive.
So on that note, it's important that the distinction is it's 250 darts per team, not 50 darts per player.
And
so your team can organize how to distribute those darts.
Just give me like 4.
Right. No, and we're aware of that. Like, the one time I did run the FDL and use it how I felt effective, the other team handed over, I think, an extra 35 darts to me, and I still was out by the end of round 2. So I just
it's definitely a learning situation where it's a different play style, and it forces you to kind of learn a different way to play, or take more factors into account when you're playing. Because more often than not, if you're playing in a casual game, you've got over 100 darts, over 200 darts on you, and you just don't have to worry about it, which is great. But now with limits on almost every competitive game type for dart cap, you really have to think about that. And I think it's a wonderful layer to add to things that really makes people think before they shoot, because the exact situation you've experienced, most of us experienced at one point as we were starting to get into competitive and learn these things. Like, oh, I'm empty. Okay, I'm useless now. This is
well, even with competitive, even if you're empty, you're not useless. Like, especially with Ion Rush, you can still go after the flag.
Yeah,
and that's what I intend to get good at.
I'm old and slow. I'm an old dog. It'll take me quite a while to teach myself new tricks.
That's what I'm here for.
And
that's why for competitive, I plan on just using a hurricane. Well, because think about it, like it's flywheel. Man. Well, because I'm a
tell that to
guy.
My knees.
Yeah, because my knees aren't too bad right now, so I feel like if I get good enough with a hurricane, I should be fine with that. Yeah. And plus, then I can donate the extra 25 darts to the team.
Yeah. I'll just have to keep it on single fire.
Think about the other roles on the field that you can play. You may be most comfortable with that FDL. You can set yourself up one of those high power single fire settings on your FDL, since you have the 3 preset thing, and you can play more of a back roll to kind of force yourself to learn that lower rate of fire play style. And since you maybe aren't as mobile, since you mentioned your knees being maybe not as strong as you'd like, you can play further back and be more of kind of an oversight, where you're constantly communicating things to your team. Be that voice of call outs that informs the rest of your team what's going on and what they need to react to, because the players up front are often under more pressure and can't get a full view of the field. So those backfield positions really have not a requirement, but they should be the ones that have the eyes in the field that can help open things up for the teammates up front. And the same goes for people that are substitutes and on the sidelines as alternates that are still able to communicate.
And that's one of the things I like about using like a Springer during competitive. Because then, like you were saying with your FDL, the way you're using it, you're just spraying and praying essentially, or not spraying and praying, but you're
heavy trigger.
Yeah. But with like pump action retaliator, you can't really spam that hard, especially if you're using a 250 FPS one.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I built my retaliator, so I couldn't spray and pray.
Yeah. Luckily, at End War, it will be preformed teams, so we'll have hopefully the opportunity to practice as teams. And maybe I'll be able to get in some practice rounds with the FDL and decide if I'll be able to make that effective.
I definitely hope you guys can. I'm glad that there will be a team coming from Detroit Dart League.
I think we have 2.
I'm so all kinds of amped that there's teams from all over the region and players from overseas. That just excites me on such a deep level. And I really would hope that as you do more of your Detroit Dart League events and things like that, you take a little bit of extra time to do a few rounds with your preset team that's going to End War, so that you can train, you can get acclimated to each other, because having that unity on the field and that familiarity it's an intangible that you can't quite put into words, but the value is just immense.
Yeah, excuse me. I think we have enough players going that we'll have 2 full teams plus some alternates.
Because I know they were trying to organize a team just within SDNC.
Yeah, because there's
and then it's pretty much implied that we'll be a team.
Yeah, so. There's 6 at our Airbnb. I think there's 4 with
6 at our Airbnb.
Yeah.
Eric's friend, isn't it? Yeah. Eric's wife.
The other part of Blaster Shop.
Yeah.
And then there's 4 in Sam's Airbnb, and then
does Michelle do competitive?
I don't know. Andrew's going. Andrew Henry.
Oh yeah.
And then I think there's a couple other people going. So We have more than 10 people from SDNC going, so hopefully we'll have 2 teams on the field.
That's awesome. That makes me so happy. Yeah. I just can't wait to play. Like, we've got the Foam Pro Tour coming up, and then in October we've got Ragnar Oktoberfest for some King of the Hill tournament goodness. Ooh. So like 2 large events per year makes this a good year, and I want more. I want more, plain and simple.
Well, Jan, you're always more than welcome to come to one of our competitive nights. Just a little bit of a drive.
Man, when I am good enough to travel, and if I have the expendable income, or disposable income rather, to travel wherever I want to Nerf, I would love to travel everywhere there is competitive Nerf and just help grow things as much as I can.
Go to New Zealand and help Slater out.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe
going to New Zealand, going to Singapore, going to Australia, going to the UK, all across the US. Like, there's tons of places.
It'd be fun.
Maybe we'll add a Detroit Dart tournament to the folio of Detroit Dart events.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Somewhere down the road.
Yeah.
When is Ragnar Oktoberfest?
I'm going to guess October.
Yes, that is the plan. Is we're aiming for October. I don't think there are set dates as of yet.
Always. That's all I ever do. No. You got a caliber. Jen, he's got a caliber aimed at me.
This isn't 130.
I know it isn't. He has a caliber aimed at my chest.
At least it's not your face.
That's what she said.
Yeah, I cut out the part where
Tim
Tom was crying in that last episode after he got shot. I had to cut that off the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it was like half an hour of it.
It was bad.
Yeah.
You still bruised?
No. Only emotionally.
Those were darts of love.
Hey, darts. Just wait till I get that module from Ben.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, 190.
Right.
So are you going to run a dual stage?
Yes, I am.
Foxfire?
I'm discussing it with Ben. He thinks that's probably going to be the best option for the Foxfire. I also have a full auto housing I need to get fixed by him, but we'll see.
I ran, when we did Ion Rush over here, I ran my Foxfire with the dual stage and katana setup.
Yeah.
It shot fantastic, and it really, really pleased me, the accuracy of it. Unfortunately, I jammed it and tried to push it mid-round and burnt out the pusher motor. So
you know what? I need to talk to him about getting a Talon module too. Because the current module...
Yeah, if he can do a Talon module, that would be great. Because I actually experienced some issues with the katana mags when I was running it, not just from a feeding perspective, but the way I hold that blaster, my hand grips around the mag well, just naturally for some reason. And if you squeeze a katana mag, it doesn't feed. And it's kind of a problem.
Yeah, I know he's got the Foxfire Talon, which has a short mag well, but I think that came out before Talons came out. I think it just happens to be named Talon.
Okay.
Features orange barrel for safety. So yeah, I think it just happens to also be named Talon. I'll message him and ask him about it.
So it's probably a katana well.
Yeah. I know he was talking about designing one. I don't know if he has already, but I'll pick one of those up from him too.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing pictures of what you end up running for HVZ and for competitive at War.
I kind of want to get a housing that doesn't have the extra magwell on the side.
I can see that.
Like, it's definitely helpful, but I just prefer to not have it.
I agree. I like the more trimmed, slimmed down kind of package. Again, that's the, I suppose, competitive player in me that wants like the lightest and tightest kind of configurations I can have.
But I do really appreciate like what Ben's doing with the Foxfire. You know, like a lot of people get on him for not being the prettiest thing, but he said he's not going for pretty with this. He's going for functional.
Have you seen the FDL2?
Well, but like people are just like, oh, it's so blocky. It's just like, yeah, because you can put literally anything in it. He has
said that he's hoping other people will take that and design modules and housings for it. So I really want to see people take the platform and run with it, but it hasn't happened.
No, and I'm honestly surprised it hasn't, considering like people like modularity in this hobby, and this is about as modular as you can get.
I think we just need to find the right computer designer, the right engineer.
Yeah. Like I would do it, but I don't know how to do that
Graphic
stuff.
Designer.
Wait.
All the good engineers are working on other platforms.
I have someone in mind. I'll talk to them. I doubt they'll do it, but I'll talk to them.
Make it happen, Tom.
Yeah.
So, well, do we want to move into our main topic? Part of the reason that we're talking with Jang today, and I apologize, I don't remember how long ago this video was, but a while ago, Jang did a video on, I think you called it, "Is the Nerf community toxic?" And there was a thing that happened recently. I'm not going to go into details, but it kind of brought it into my attention span, and I wanted to come back to it because I think it's something that our community will always struggle with, and it's something that we should always be mindful of and at least talking about in some aspect. And so if you don't mind, Jang, why don't you I don't know if you would like to kind of recap what you were saying in there, or just start off by talking to us about your feelings on it, and then see where the conversation goes.
Let's the simplest I can make this is just gatekeeping in any hobby is generally going to bring no positives to that hobby. There is almost no good that can come of it. I only say almost because I'm sure there's some corner case somewhere where something good has potentially happened once out of like many, many times. But really, realistically, all you're doing is hurting your hobby, hurting your community, and excluding people and preventing it from growing. That's not something I really want for our hobby. We've kind of branded ourselves as this welcoming, inviting community where everyone's accepted and you're welcome here. So it's kind of counterintuitive for people to start to worry about how people nerf or why they enjoy the hobby and whatnot. As long as you're not harming anybody or actively making it your goal to lower someone else's enjoyment of the hobby, then it shouldn't really matter. It's not harming you if someone else wants to go to an all stock blasters game and not worry about modifying a blaster, or if you like stock blasters and someone else loves souping something up to be crazy and they go to games where a bunch of people enjoy that has no harm on you, since it's not an aspect that interests you. You have your aspects you like and other people have their aspects they like. So it's just, we should enjoy all of that we have such a diverse hobby that allows people to enjoy it in so many different ways. We shouldn't be trying to limit that. We should be celebrating it and using it to continue to further and grow our community.
Well said. I kind of feel like a large hurdle that we face in this hobby is that it is by and large on a daily interaction level through social media. Our hobby, maybe even more so than a lot of others, relies on social media, between the YouTube presence for finding out about new products and mod guides and things like that, and Facebook that the communities use to like different groups will use to coordinate events and talk about different things that they're doing. It's all through social media, and a lot of social media is text based. And something that I think everybody is at least partially aware of is it's very hard to understand tone through text. And what that in turns end up doing is something that you intend innocently enough and don't necessarily mean to be a criticism can be taken that way, because the person that's reading it doesn't understand what your actual inflection was. And when it comes to people feeling like they have been the victim of a toxic situation or of gatekeeping, the person on the other end, the person that is in the gatekeeper role, may have been intending what they were saying as a genuinely helpful incident. But what my job, I am a middle level manager, so I have a lot of training that I go through for things like sexual harassment and cultural diversity, and the thing that always comes back to in those type of situations, and I think it applies in this toxic conversation, toxicity.
Toxicity is the right word.
Toxicity or gatekeeping conversation that we're continuing here is it isn't how you intend what was said. It's how the person who it feels victimized took it, and it's a very difficult thing. It's a very fine line that I guess I need to challenge everyone in the community to think about how what you're saying could be taken. Whether it's, you're in a discussion about whether or not trust fires and IMRs are safe, or if it's, what the FPS cap should be for a particular event, or, the engineering behind a particular blaster and where it started and who's responsible for what. You need to check yourself, and even if you intend for it to be helpful and not aggressive or hurtful in any way, it might get taken that way whether you think it will or not. So I guess in a long-winded spiel, what I'm trying to get at is there's unintentional gatekeeping that we need to check ourselves about.
Yeah. I think it's the community's definitely gotten better about it from when I joined, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2.5, something like that. It's definitely gotten a lot better. And people are checking themselves more. But there's
a way we can look at this that I suppose if we try and shine a positive light on this, it's as Tom said, it's not as bad as it could be, which is definitely nice. We have, again, that reputation or that kind of self-crowned desire to be welcoming to people, which is a fantastic thing. And the reason issues like this tend to pop up in a lot of hobbies and communities, which, there's no reason to think we're a special exception, this happens all the time, is that people are passionate about what they enjoy. And there are a lot of passionate people about our little hobby. Now, our little hobby is getting less little day by day, and that excites me to no end because it means more and more good things for everyone within it. But with that growth comes, things like this that we do need to address before they become major, major issues. And your point on, intent versus interpretation is definitely a worthwhile one, because you can say something that's factually true and you're saying it because you think you're being helpful, but your tone or your interpreted tone is very standoffish or rude or passive aggressive or anything like that. So take an extra minute to maybe reread what you're saying or think about it from the other perspective can really do a lot. And I know that's something that can seem like a lot to ask. Like, why should I have to, think about the way I'm saying things? Why can't people just understand? Or, why should I have to do this? And it's just, to me, everything always comes down to respect. Do you respect other people and do you want them to respect you? If yes, take an extra 5-10 seconds to think about what you're saying, or whether or not you're annoyed when you're posting something. It's just little things. Like, you don't have to completely reform everything you're doing and the way you look at every aspect of this hobby. It's just respect. It's really, if you want a way to look at it, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, that's a very fair way to look at it.
Yeah. Connor, you're lucky. You have the business end of it, so you just get to take their money and then you don't have to see them again.
Yeah. Well, I like to think I'm starting to get included in the hobby, but I do avoid most conversations outside of our host Discord channel.
Yeah.
Just because
that's just for time management.
It's time management, but
you know, for all of us.
Yeah. but I do hear
true,
from people about like what's going on, you know, and it's going to happen in any organization and as things grow. It is not productive, or if you're having a conversation, make it productive, learn from it, and move on. But, you know, there's going to be people that take it the wrong way, and it's going to be inevitable. But if you are easily triggered by that kind of stuff, I would maybe just avoid the chat altogether, or avoid certain things, or I don't know.
Like you said, it's always going to be a looming threat, and I think that's why it's important for there to continue to be conversations about it. And you know, the people who have voices, you know, like Jangular, you did the video, and you know, even though our audience may not be as big as, you know, Drac or you know, some of the YouTube celebrities, we still have a voice in this community at this point, and I think it's important that people keep talking about it so that there is a spotlight on it.
Oh yeah, conversation is always good. Just gotta keep thinking big picture and keep it growing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, the more people involved in that conversation, it's definitely a positive. Whether people agree or not, discussion and communication is how things are resolved. So rather than people retreating and just getting more and more entrenched in their perspective and their ideas on how something is going to play out, if you start talking with people that maybe you don't agree with on certain topics, you may find a middle ground. You may find that you share certain opinions on things that you just misinterpreted from each other.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to be gained from simple discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, is much more valuable than just simply flaming someone for not agreeing or, you know, screwing up once. If someone screws up, you know, in a really royal way, call them out on it. You know, call someone out, but understand that what's the goal of your call out? Is the goal of your call out to have someone get, you know, dumpstered on by everyone else? Is that really, what's that going to gain you? What's that going to gain the hobby? Is that going to further it in a positive way? Or are you going to call them out to bring attention to things so that they can see that, oh, I kind of get that point. I understand that maybe the way I worded that, or the way I interpreted this thing, is kind of maybe a little messed up. Let me reevaluate that. And that leads to more positives in the future. So I am very much of the group that wants to have discussions and try to better things for everyone.
I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb here, and the intention here is not to diminish how somebody might interpret a situation that's going on. But if you do find yourself upset by a conversation that is starting, I would challenge people to ask for clarification before becoming, you know, enraged, insulted. You know, maybe, you know, like we've said, you know, you can't always understand inflection. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, what do you mean by this? You know, why are you saying I shouldn't use trust fires? You might find that the person that is posting that is actually very, just like Jangular, you said, passionate, and just wants to educate rather than how the initial rapid fire post came off. I know I'm guilty than more of one half asleep Facebook comments at 4:30 in the morning.
It's oddly specific. It's very, very
it's
specific.
Dangerous time.
That is very specific.
Dangerous time.
Yeah. Well, that's my morning routine. I roll out of bed and I check Facebook and check work emails and
4:30 a.m. Oh.
I wake up. I'm like, when is Solus have a video? God, dang it! Every morning.
Of course not.
That's what happens when you have 3 kids to get off to various places
true.
and then be to work to make sure all your employees are where they're supposed to be.
I will say there were a few times where, like when I was first like talking about getting a Foxfire, you started going off about like how much better the FDL is, and you caught yourself quite a few times.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that, and you have gotten a lot better about it. Like I think you kind of see the value of a Foxfire, if you will.
I absolutely do.
Yeah.
And
you see that it's gimmick.
I think a lot of these situations occur, like Jangular was saying, because of passion.
Yeah.
We are passionate about the hobby. If you weren't passionate about a topic, you wouldn't be responding to it in the first place. And I'm passionate about the FDL. I love
jump in
Yeah.
on this really quick because that actually brings up a point that I wanted to make sure that I make, because it is very important, and that is there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. Absolutely, you can have your opinion that you believe the FDL is superior to the Foxfire or vice versa or whatever. That is your opinion. You are 100% welcome to that. There's nothing wrong with that. Enjoy that opinion. It is yours. You have probably made it through your own personal experiences or research. That's great. My points are when you try to force things on other people or demean other people for their opinions, things like that's where I start to see kind of negativity start to arise. That passion for all kinds of different platforms or blasters or play styles or all of that, that breeds the diversity that we love in our hobby. That breeds all the different game types, the play styles, all of that. So there's a big difference between like saying no to gatekeeping and toxicity and the importance of diversity and people enjoying their particular aspects of things, and that it's not wrong to have those. Celebrate them for the things that you enjoy. Just don't expect every other person in the hobby to share them the exact same way as you.
What works best for you may not work best for someone else. Yeah, absolutely. Well, have we said everything we feel we need to say on this? You look like you got something else you want to say, Tom.
No, I'm talking to the person who I was talking to about the modularity stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we've covered pretty much everything I wanted to talk about at least.
Do we have any other topics?
I think
Can
we're
we
good.
just talk about how well I did with a Maverick?
Your Maverick is hitting pretty hard, man.
So, Jang, this stock Maverick is getting like 70 to 80 FPS. Completely stock.
You didn't do anything?
I did nothing to it. The only thing I did was, so it's a blue Maverick, you know, the one that has like the yellow cylinder and the yellow slide?
Mm-hmm.
I switched that up for a black cylinder and the black slide.
There's got to be something else going on.
There's nothing else.
I got hit by it a few times. I felt it. It's hitting pretty hard.
I don't know. I think it's just magic.
Are you sure it wasn't modded when you found it?
I looked inside of it. It didn't look modded. Like, I've modded Mavericks. It looked normal to me.
I have a hard time believing that's 100% stock.
Possible Tom's just straight up lying to
We
us.
we can open it up. Like, I genuinely want to know why it's hitting harder.
Maybe we will.
And maybe put in a stronger spring.
Oh, God.
I will have the strongest Maverick known
Here's the
to
issue
man.
with that.
Yeah.
If you're going to open it up, because I had a Recon that felt very similar. It used to shoot after like just taking out the air restrictor. It shot way harder than any N-Strike blaster had any right to, or at least it felt like it. And then when I opened it up again to swap something out or upgrade it more, it like lost that magic. So
Don't jinx it, Tim.
I'm gonna go ahead and warn you that if you try and swap out a spring or do something different, that magic it may be gone.
But, Jen, keep in mind, this still has the air restrictors in it. I haven't taken them out.
I don't understand how
I don't
it's hitting
know
that
either.
hard if it's stock.
I don't know. Yeah, and the Maverick, the cylinder
Tim's
I put
brain
in
is
still
like,
had the air
there's a
restrictors.
reason, though.
There
I'm,
is?
It's not just...
I'm sure there is. We're going to find it
I just hope that it
It's
still
magic.
hits that
You
hard.
just have to believe.
next time on Detroit Dark
have
Talk.
to believe.
What dark ritual did you perform? It's possessed by demons. We're going to find like pentagrams drawn underneath the cylinder or something.
Just on the inside of it. Dude, that'd be cool, though.
Well, do we want to move on to shout-outs?
If we're looking for topics here, we could talk about competitive for another 3 hours.
Oh, absolutely. No, why don't we move on to shout-outs?
Yeah, I mean we're at 45 right now. It's
That's
shorter,
pretty good.
like it's shorter episode.
By the
but
time we get
people
through
don't mind
shout outs,
it. Yeah.
it'll be close to an hour.
Yeah. Give me a second. I don't know who I'm going to shout out. Actually, I've got multiple people I want to shout out.
All right, I'm going to shout out What the Foam
Oh, yeah.
for
You better.
featuring me as the Nerfer of the Week. I was very honored. So you go check out their page on Facebook. You'll see a brief interview about me and a couple of pictures of me and my son at one of the events here at the Dart Club.
We're gonna make Tim the most famous Nerfer.
I don't know
in the
about
land.
that.
We're going to beat Drac. Also, Drac, get on our
I'm gonna get a
podcast.
Tim tattoo.
I'm going to get a
Oh, boy.
hashtag free stuff tattoo.
Don't destroy your
know,
body
First
with a
and only
picture.
tattoo. I'm
It's
gonna
gonna,
draw it myself too.
nice.
What was that, Cheng? Oh, did we lose you?
No, he's still there. Probably.
Jay. Yep.
Oh, we're cutting out.
Oh, are we good? I think we're
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
I
there we
can-
go.
Good, yeah.
Is my go then?
Yeah, go for it.
Go for it.
I am going to say let's go with the Atomic Dart League because they are going to be hosting the Foam Pro Tour at End War, and I love everything competitive, so I think y'all should have them on the show to talk about the Foam Pro Tour and all the goody details for it, because everybody that can be at End War should be trying to participate in it. It's something I'm very hyped
Or
for.
helping them
So,
with
yeah.
it. I know
Oh,
they're
yeah.
looking for volunteers.
Yes, absolutely. If
consider
you're going to
this
be
me
there and
volunteering.
you aren't able to play,
to a
or
point.
maybe don't want to commit to playing in a tournament but still want to be involved, anybody that can help run the event, help referee, help with organization, or whatever needs they may have, know that that value would be immense and the appreciation would be just as immense. Speaking from experience here after Ragnar Oktoberfest last year, the more people you have helping, the better, and the better experience it is for everyone involved. So if you're able to, hit them up, give them some help, just be at the event. I'm so looking forward to it and what they do with it.
It's going to be a blast. No pun intended.
I'm going to, something not even like Nerf related, I'm going to shout out Josh for giving me G Fuel. It was a terrible
Yeah.
idea to give me G Fuel.
That stuff was tasty.
What is that like?
Like legal cocaine.
It's kind of like a powdered Gatorade mix.
Like a
It's- but
pre-workout
with-
drink?
Yeah, it's like if pre-workout and Gatorade had a kid.
Love child.
Yeah. No, not love.
Do you just get it at the store?
It's online. I've still got a few packs. I'll bring them in the next time.
I need that for Saturday or something.
Pretty sure it's marketed towards gamers, so it's,
Yeah.
it's mostly sold online.
And
it's
it's-
like
there's
just
caffeine, too.
kind
Yeah.
of.
It's
I-
tasty.
It's like the evolution of balls.
I
if
drank
you,
some-
You know, were a gamer 10 to 15 years ago.
Yeah. I drank some
Balls
before I
in
played
yours.
floor hockey last night.
Yeah.
I was going fast.
Nice.
Going fast. Do I have any other shout outs? I don't know if I do.
Yeah.
I'll shout out Eric because we miss you, buddy.
Yeah.
Have fun. I don't even know where he is. I forget. Let's not disclose where he is.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
traveling for work.
Yeah.
Did you have any, Connor?
Yeah, I want to shout out a ton of people. Everyone who came out to Z13, Tim for hosting Z13, and people who donated blasters to the club. They were used last Sunday for a couple kids' parties, and
Yeah. I
it was
know
fun.
Buff Daddy brought a bunch, and then Dan's friend,
I keep blanking on his name. Was he the guy that commented on the page today?
maybe.
I don't know.
I'd know it if I saw his name. I'll have to look through the waivers. I'll tell you who it
Yeah,
is.
no,
But,
yeah, big thanks to them. That was awesome.
To Tyler and Anna and Bogue and those guys for
Oh.
driving 4.5 hours to
Yeah.
She hooked us up with some stickers. You
yeah
guys see that?
yeah we
Oh,
got
yeah,
we
yeah,
got
yeah.
Moy stickers, which are a rare commodity these days.
I'm going to sell them at FoamCon.
Sell your gift.
We have a table. We need to sell something there. Also, guys, we have a table for
Oh yes,
for FoamCon.
it is confirmed.
We're only going to be selling like 3 stickers, so get there fast.
No, come say hi to us. We may even be doing little short snippets of.
What are we doing at the table? Do we know?
I
Like,
thought-
why did they give
I
us
mean,
a
I'll
full
be
table?
selling my autographs, $5 a
Ah.
piece.
I'll be selling. I'll have a basket for people to give me free stuff.
Yeah.
So
We I don't know. We haven't discussed it.
No, we need to figure
We're going
it
to
out.
be recording in some capacity. I don't know if we're just going to do an episode at the
wanna-
table for a while,
I
or
want
if
to do
we
like
might
flash recordings where we just walk
do-
up and just be like, "What's your favorite color?"
let's
Bye.
keep it. We
Well,
might
I do have a separate recorder we can go
Yeah.
up to people. And
maybe we do brief interviews with random people, pull them aside.
I mean, we can just go to each booth and just talk to someone for like 5
That would be
minutes and
cool,
keep
dude.
going
Yeah,
down the row.
that's
blah,
true.
blah,
Cool,
blah,
too.
blah, blah, blah.
Well, but then, like, what's the point of the table? Can I just lay on the table?
Sure.
Oh, nice.
We'll keep you guys posted on what we're going to be doing at FoamCon.
It'll be something memey, knowing me.
So I do have one last shout out, and that is
think I do,
to
too.
you, Jang.
Oh,
for,
yeah.
For taking time out of your hiatus to join with us and talk about this.
Don't inflate his ego.
This very important topic. I really
I
appreciate
appreciate being asked about this. I definitely agree that it's something, we want to be able to have the best community we can. So I appreciate you asking me to come and talk on this. It's always nice to talk Nerf with other people that.
Uh-oh.
Jang, you cut out for a sec.
Did I? Oh, my bad.
Okay, now we're back.
I was just saying that I always appreciate, being able to talk with other people that enjoy the Nerf hobby and what we can do to further it in the future.
Yeah, we're growing at a rate where we really need to be mindful of that type of thing these days. So
Also, like, I was thinking about this the other day. Do you guys realize, like, how quickly us as a podcast grew?
pretty quickly.
Like,
What
think-
episode
think
is this,
of-
Connor?
23 or 24
Yeah.
or something.
Nice.
But think about, like, last year at Ed War. We were just going, like, people knew us just for, like, being individuals. Now we've got people who, like, are asking for us to come to Ed War. Like, we've got people who want to see us there.
It's kind of flattering when
Yeah.
I comment on a post and somebody replies to me, "Hey, I love the show," and
Yeah.
that's kind of flattering.
That's
It's a warm and fuzzy.
Yeah, it's
It
just
is,
like,
it
wow.
is.
And when, like, we got a table, it's just like, wow, we're actually influencers in the hobby, aren't we?
Influencers.
Like, it made me realize, it's like, wait, do we influence this hobby?
I was concerned after Drax's video, when he was talking about the tables, that we wouldn't be able to get one. Because
yeah, I was too,
It sounded like
talking to other people about it.
it sounds like they're going to be in short supply, and
Yeah, but we got a full table for some
yeah,
reason.
well, it gives us room to set out our
Some
mics,
reason.
and
We're the best when we know it.
yeah,
And everyone else is, not as best as us.
It's free real
Tom's
estate.
posing for the camera right
It's free
now.
real estate. We're gonna build a condo.
It's free stuff.
Yes.
I think
yes.
that
Hashtag
whole,
free stuff.
It's on the topic of influencer and that kind of things. We're doing shout outs. One more real quick is Mr. Nathan.
Oh, I love
he has
it.
a great video discussing that kind of topic and the potential downfalls of viewing yourself as an influencer or
Jinxed it.
Oh,
Now.
yeah, I did see that.
Now you
Is
tell me.
Nerf celebrities, Nerf celebrity. What did they call
Nerf
it?
something like that.
Something
yeah.
like that. Now you tell me,
It's,
Jang. After
it's
I
a
jinx
really
us.
good watch, and I highly recommend it
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we all just like playing with foam dart toys.
Yeah.
That's the long and the short of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Mr. Nathan has talked to us about being on here anyway. So
Yeah,
we'll have to get him on
we
here
hope
and
to
maybe
have
talk
him
about
on
it.
soon.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. I love him so much. Mr. Nathan, you get another shout out. You get 2 shout outs. Anyone want to give him a third?
Someone else did it, so I had to jump on
Yeah.
the bandwagon.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah. So, well, why don't we wrap
good?
it up for the day?
Okay, so do we just
Do what
It's
Eric
been-
says.
what
for,
does Eric say?
For Tim,
For
Connor,
Detroit, Tom,
your name Tom.
my name's Tom.
Jang.
Hashtag free stuff.
That's
This
it.
has been Detroit Dart Talk. That's what we do.
This is a bad ending.
Yeah, no, it's
Should
good.
we redo that?
I think-
Redo that?
No,
I'm not editing, but
Nah.
like,
No.
Yeah, everybody is laughing hilariously at us right now.
Are
All
they?
right.
Brett's not with us at
Thanks
us.
for joining us, guys.
Send
For
me free stuff.
Connor, Tom, and Tim, Eric somewhere in the
And,
skies, and our guest celebrity Jangular. We'll see you next time.
Hashtag free stuff.
Eric's in the other room tied up.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.